Hello there, welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. This is the very special unboxing that I mentioned at the end of my last video, so that means I finally got to editing the footage from a few weeks ago. As I'm sure you can tell already, this is the Moomin Traveler's Notebook in standard size. It's a limited edition that was released in Japan in December last year. It was a crazy purchase to make, all right? It was absolutely out of my comfort zone as far as pricing goes. It's way more than I'm comfortable spending on a notebook or a notebook cover, but it was Christmas and my partner was very supportive, even though he probably shouldn't have been, but here it is. I still can't believe I have it. It's such a beautifully made cover. I've never had a special, like, limited release TN before, and this is also my first standard size, so this was like a lot of first times in one for me. And as I said, normally I wouldn't buy something like this for myself. It's just a little bit too much in all respects, but I felt like I had to have this one because it's Moomin themed, and it's actually based on my favorite Moomin book. It's called Finn Family Moomin Troll, and it's a book that I grew up with. It was probably one of the first books that I read by myself when I first learned how to read. So you can imagine what my reaction was when I first saw this advertised on the Traveler's Company Instagram. I knew I was in trouble, okay? I knew me and my wallet were not getting out of this unscathed, and well, what can I say? I know myself. Oh, and I should probably say what Moomins are, just in case you don't know if you're not familiar with the characters. So Moomins were created by a Finnish writer and illustrator, Tove Jansson, in the 20th century, and they started, as far as I know, as sort of comic characters. She created them for these cartoons that she posted in a newspaper, and slowly they evolved to be characters in her stories, and those stories became books. And I think the rest is history. Right now it's like a huge franchise that people know and love all over the world. So if you've never ever read any of the books or just interacted with the characters in any way, I highly recommend you check out the Japanese anime. It's just called Moomins. It's from the 90s, and it's the most beautiful, peaceful, like cottagecore dream sort of anime. It's actually available for free online on YouTube if you just search Moomins. I'm pretty sure in most countries you would be able to watch the whole thing for free. But of course, yes, also read the books. The books are amazing. They're not just for kids, even though a lot of us were first kind of exposed to Moomins as children. When you read the books as an adult, you really get like a completely different experience, a completely different depth to the stories. For example, one of the better known books, called Comet in Moominland, is actually about the Second World War and the sort of anxieties that the author and people around her were having at the time. So without spoiling anything else, I should just say go read it. It's incredible. Okay? That's it. Enough fangirling about Moomins. If you follow Traveler's Company at all, of course you would know that this is not the first Moomin collaboration that they did. At this point, they have been releasing these every year since 2021. But to be honest, none of them spoke to me. And seeing the prices on eBay and Etsy, I mean, it was completely insane to me. I wasn't going to buy any of them, until this one came around, because it was just a little bit too perfect. As I said, this one was based on my favorite Moomin book, the Finn Family Moomin Troll, and it had the best illustration. Okay, in my opinion, all right? It had the best illustration on the cover with Snufkin and Moomin sitting on this little bridge with the birds in the background. It's just, there's something about it that just makes me feel things, all right? And it was also the fact that this cover came in olive, which is my absolute favorite color that TN come in. I already have a passport size in olive, so I thought they would look pretty well together, and guess what? They do. They look absolutely stunning on my little journaling shelf. And finally, the thing that really secretly did me in was the fact that, as you would have seen earlier, this notebook comes with these hattie fatteners as charms. So the little like sausage looking creatures with hands, they are just peak character design, okay? My partner and I have sort of incorporated them into our like relationship lore. So when I saw those, I knew that this notebook was coming home with me. As I'm recording this, I'm actually realizing that this is a second TN cover unboxing I've made and posted in the last 2 months. And I feel like I should put a little disclaimer here and say that I don't normally buy that many expensive stationery items, okay? I've probably bought more stationery and journaling related stuff in the last 2 months than I have in the entirety of last year. So, yeah, I want you to know that I'm not trying to influence anyone or encourage anyone to go out and buy expensive covers like every month. It's literally a coincidence that I got so many things in such a short period of time, and it's just very exciting to me, so I wanted to share it with those who might understand and appreciate it with me. As we are approaching the end of this video, I'd just like to say that I will be releasing another video shortly where I'll be sharing some footage of my adventures in Scotland and opening a package from Miso Paper with some things for this very standard size TN, because guess what? It being my first standard size, I didn't have any accessories, so I kind of had to get some stuff. And in this next video, I will also talk about my plans for this TN, because I have a very specific sort of vision for it. Something along the lines of a photo album / scrapbook to preserve and collect memories for me and my partner. Of course, I won't be limiting myself with these strict rules of what goes in which notebook, but roughly speaking, this is the kind of direction I want to take this in. But let's see where it goes. In the meantime, if you would like to see more of my notebooks, you can find me on Instagram. My handle is Sophia with 2 eyes, same as on YouTube. And of course, you can follow my YouTube channel to make sure that you don't miss the next video. All right, take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.